On 4 Now, Collector's Lot, complete with subtitles for deaf and hard of hearing viewers. Select subtitles, or if you're watching digital, teletext page 888.
Hello again and welcome to Collector's Lot USA, where all week we're coming from Laredo, not Texas, but Kent. It's an authentic Western town, hidden away from sight and open only to its members, who spend their weekends here recreating the lifestyle of the 19th century Wild West. Everything is as close as possible to how it would have been in Victorian times, with all the buildings fitted out with furniture and decorations of the time. Coming up on today's programme, we'll be visiting the final resting place for old American hubcaps, riding the range with a collector of Western gear, and learning all about the bare necessities of Care Bear collecting. We'll begin today with a trip to Buffalo, New York State, to meet a man who has more collections under one roof than anyone we've ever met. Laura Beaumont went to find out more.
Charles Rand Penney is one of America's foremost collectors, and considering that the USA is the land of collectors, then that is really saying something. In fact, he's got so many things that we could use him in every Collector's Lot show and still have a few things left for a special. Charles, you've got an incredible collection here, and you actually live amongst it.
Yes, well, thank you for saying that. Yes, I do. I enjoy living in all these collections, the art and the antiques. It's a real pleasure. It's a privilege.
Now, they say philately will get you nowhere, but that's what started this whole collection off, wasn't it?
Yes, right. Way back when I was a kid, yes. I started with stamps. I still have the stamp collection. I haven't kept it up to date because I've been so involved with all the other collections, but yes, I do.
So where did it go from stamps?
It went from stamps to coins, and then eventually it went into art, the visual arts. And as I became more affluent, as I went on and started to practice law, I was able to do that. Then I got into the antiques, and now it's a mixture of everything.
Now, Charles, I know this is a tricky question, but what are some of your favorite collections?
It is a tricky question because I have over 100 collections, and I like them all equally well. It's just as if you had 12 children, and somebody said, which is your favorite child? What would you say, really? They're interesting for different reasons. That's what I like about them.
Charles, you've got a pretty good decked out bedroom here. I mean, most people have a poster or a cuddly toy. This is what you've got.
Wonderful. Thank you, Laura, for saying that. You're very observing. These are my friends, my little people here, the little ones, and my big people here. You see Big Bird.
That is a big bird. Now,
Yes.
where did he come from?
He came from Africa, flew over from Africa. But the other objects here, there's paintings. I don't know. There's modern sculpture. It's a mixed bag. I mean, you can never have a nightmare in this bed.
Can you not?
No, no. It's always a dream, a pleasant dream, sweet dreams, they used to say.
Now, one of the things I really like in this room over there is a big carousel with postcards in it.
As you may know, the Ferris wheel was invented in 1893 by Mr. Ferris, and it was at the World's Fair there. But actually, it was made to just house postcards there, and it was sold very cheaply in those days. You like it?
I love it.
Yeah.
Because there really is a thing with you, I can see looking around, about your childhood. You know, there's a lot of things that you must have remembered from your childhood and collected them now.
Laura, I'm in my second childhood now, and I'm having a marvelous time. And you can get away with things that you can't in your first childhood.
Yeah, I can see
right.
that.
It's fun.
Now, Charles, you also seem to collect yourself as well. What's this wall here?
Well, I call it an ego wall, and I'm very much embarrassed by it. It's just pictures of me as I went through life doing different things. It's sort of fun. I didn't want to do it, but friends encouraged me to do it.
And over here we've got 6 Charleses.
Yes.
What's this?
Isn't that too much?
Yeah, too much. Well, not enough, I'd say.
Well, this is an artist friend of mine in Rochester, New York, and she had done one of some of her family. I said, well, I'm not on an ego kick, but it'd be sort of fun. So it's me looking like a businessman, which I am, a lawyer, then sort of informal, and then lap swimmer. I swim laps every day, yeah.
Where do you get the time to do all this?
Oh, you get up early.
So, Charles, this is an ever-changing collection, isn't it, really?
Well, I think all collections should change. I mean, why just stand still, you know? I mean, you're either taking away from them, maybe selling them, or you're adding. Oh, what do we call it? Refining, I would think, don't you think?
I think that's a good word, yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't mind giving whole clumps of it away?
Well, I've given an awful lot away, and right now, I think that's about it. I think I'm putting some things up for sale, you know. I've given, I don't know, 4 major collections just in the last year, you know. So I think it's time that I put these into auction or to sale, the rest of them.
You'll fill in the gaps though, won't you?
Oh, sure, of course, yes.
Okay.
What an amazing man, and it doesn't end there. Tomorrow, Laura cracks open Charles's collection of Mr. Peanut merchandise. Now, my first guest is such a fan of the Wild West that his collection takes over his house and he's forced to sleep in the sitting room. Such is his passion that he's even changed his name by deed poll. So it's welcome to none other than Bill Cody. Good to see you here, Bill, all the way from Liverpool.
Yes.
Tell us about the character you've named yourself after.
All right, William Frederick Cody. Well, he was one of the greatest showmen in the Old West. He was a buffalo hunter. He hunted buffalo, shot buffalo for the railroads in the 1870s.
And he's better known to us as Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill, that's how he got his name.
And great connections with royalty too.
Yes, he did 2 command performances for Queen Victoria in the 1880s in Windsor Great Park.
And tell me when your love affair with all things Western began.
About 30 years ago and left school in the late 60s.
Was it the films that got you going?
Yeah, the John Wayne movies, that kind of thing, and Audie Murphy, the old westerns.
Let's take a closer look at your collection now. You've got a saddle over there. Is that an authentic one from the
Yes.
Wild West period?
Yes, it came from Columbus, Montana. It's dated 1888. It is a genuine stock saddle.
And you've got the letter of authentication there
Yes.
to say that it is the genuine
Yes,
article.
it is the genuine article.
And what about this gun holster that we see on the table here?
Yes, that's also the genuine article. The holster itself was made professionally by a leather craftsman, but the belt and the belt loops were made by a ranch hand. You can see the difference in the quality and the work. These are very badly made, and this is professionally made.
Badges here too. Is this a special one?
Yes, this is a special one. It's a Deputy United States Marshal badge. It dates between 1870 and 1880. I know how to date it because in 1880 the design changed to the round and the square badge. So I know it's authentic. I've got authenticity papers to prove it.
Amazing to see all the kit that a cowboy
Yes.
would need. I mean, this facsimile catalogue you've got here, this shows all the different things from stoves to, I don't know, kit bags, saddle bags, the lot.
Bags, yes. Everything you need for the for a ranch or for the housewife or settlers in the West. Everything's in this catalogue, everything you could ever need.
What's so special about this newspaper that you framed?
All right, it's the first report of the Battle of the Little Bighorn in 1876, which General Custer of the 7th Cavalry was, well, he died, and it's a list of all the dead soldiers.
And that is the genuine newspaper
That's
from
the
the
genuine,
time?
yeah, from July 1876, yeah.
Love the clothes you're wearing. Have you had some of these specially made for you?
Yes, the chaps have had to be made to measure. These are made to measure shotgun chaps, leather.
Yeah, I can see the suede on
Yes.
that side. And what are these things on your arms?
These are called cuffs. They're meant to protect you from rope burns when you throw the rope and it doesn't rub on your arm.
You've got some more of those on the table there.
Yes.
So
Okay.
what does your home look like? I mean, now you're sleeping on the sofa in the sitting room rather than in the bedroom. Has it been completely taken over?
Well, it's been completely taken over. By the book collection I've got at the moment over 80 books covering the period 1865 up to 1900, which was the end of the Old West.
I can see you'd love to have lived through the genuine period. Great to see all of this
Yes.
today. Thanks very much for
All
coming
right.
on the show.
Thank you.
Now to the next instalment of this week's Living Craft. Each day we're learning more about American quilts from Maggie Gordon, who's making a special wall hanging using traditional colours beloved by the Amish community in the States.
If you remember yesterday, we chose the fabrics. Jan picked out the fabrics that she thought she would like in this quilt. What I've got to do now is cut strips. I've got to cut 2 of the black and 1 of each of the colors. And I'll start by cutting out strips of the red, I think, because it's on the top. First thing we have to do is level off the edges, make sure they're completely even. Have to line up along a line there, and then just run the cutter down quickly. Get rid of that. Flip the whole thing over, and then measure off a 1.5 inch strip, and cut a slice, and there we are. So once all the strips have been cut, we have to stitch them all together. And what I've done is to cut each of the strips into 3 more or less equal lengths, because what we're going to do now is stitch them together so that we have a red and then a black and then a red, and then we're going to do another set which is a black and then a red and then another black. Once you've done the red and the black, then you do exactly the same thing again for all of the colors. We've stitched all the strips together, and what I'm going to do now is press them. And with dressmaking, you normally press seams open, but with quilting you don't. With quilting, you press them so that they're to one side. People seem to feel that makes it stronger for some reason. It also makes it a lot easier to fit things together. And what I'm going to do with this one is press it so that the seams are both pressed toward the black fabric, like that. And with this one, I'm going to press them so that they're both toward the black fabric, but to the middle. And what happens is you've got a configuration that looks something like that. All right, everything's been ironed now. The next thing to do is to cut. We have to make sure that they're all level so that they fit together neatly. We cut 1.5 inch strips. So what we have to do is cut one of those and 2 of these for every square we want to make. We cut that one, and then we cut one more, so we get a configuration like that. Now I'm going to stitch them together, which is much easier because of the way I've pressed them. I'm going to pop the whole thing under the machine and do a little seam. So that's the first seam. Now I need another one like that, which goes on that side. Have to make sure it's in the right place, because otherwise the square's back to front. And that's that one done. All right, so that's all of the little 9 patches done. What I have to do now is decide which colours I'm going to use where. So I guess I better play around with the colours and just see what I can come up with here. What I have to do next, I suppose, is cut the big blue squares to go in between each of the little squares, and we can do that tomorrow.
If you'd like to find out more about Maggie's work or anything else featured on the programme this week, you'll find full details on Foretell page 331 and the Channel 4 website. That's it for part 1. Coming up after the break, the Californian ranch where hubcaps of every description find their final resting place. And a carnival of Care Bears comes to town. Don't go away.